Hello guys, welcome back to Pages with Sidra. In this video, we're diving into Chapter 8 of the Rebellious Apostle of the Harvest Goddess. If you haven't watched the previous chapters yet, make sure to check them out on our channel so you can enjoy the full story from the beginning. Let's jump right in. The scene opened with commotion in the department store. People were pointing and shouting excitedly. Ryu's voice boomed loudly over the crowd. It's Rohan, the peerless swordmaster. It's Rohan, a peerless swordmaster. For someone like that to buy all our apples. Meanwhile, Rohan continued eating the apples he had purchased, casually carrying the large sack on his back. He took a bite and murmured appreciatively, "Delicious." News of the purchase spread quickly, and soon breaking news alerts began flashing everywhere. Ryu, frustrated and panicked, muttered to himself, "I thought it would cause a stir, but this is getting out of control." The headline on the news read, "Breaking news, the unyielding symbol. The food Rohan ate to become a sword master." Netizens were buzzing. The food he ate daily while training has finally hit the market. Ryu grabbed his head, shouting in disbelief. "How could you release an article like this?" He immediately answered a call on his phone, shouting, "What? You're asking if eating apples automatically makes you a sword master? Of course not. It has nothing to do with us." Another call came in, and Ryu picked it up, trying to keep control. "Yes, this is Ryu Wu from Circulation Trading." Then he froze, staring at the words on the screen. "Wait, a reservation order for 100 boxes out of nowhere. I'm telling you, it's not that simple." Meanwhile, back at Chance's farm, the scene was much calmer. Heimdall, Ari, and Doji were enjoying their meals quietly. Chansu spoke to himself, a content smile on his face. "It's already been a week since I arrived in this world. I'm living a fairly abundant life." He glanced at the prepared meal and spoke to the goddess of abundance. "Since the meal is ready, I should get prepared too." Chansa began gathering the materials he needed to cook. "These are just as tasty as the apples," he said, taking out potatoes and sweet potatoes. He started peeling and cutting the potatoes, carefully preparing them for cooking. Doji waddled closer, eyes wide and tail wagging, trying to speak. "Oink, oink." Chansu shook his head and said firmly, "I'm not making this for you, you know? And you just ate a moment ago." Doji made an irresistibly cute expression, and Chansu couldn't help but sigh. "Fine. Here, eat this at least," he said, offering a small piece. Just then, Hei Sujin arrived, smiling brightly. "Oh, Mr. O Chansu," she called out. Chansu turned, smiling back. "Ah, you're here." Hei Sujin held something from her bag and spoke excitedly. "Mr. Chansu, you've managed to hatch all your familiars, triple the cuteness." Doji, Ari, and Heimdall scrambled to hide the goddess of abundance behind their backs. They were sweating nervously, thinking, "I mustn't expose the goddess to an outsider. Protect her at all costs. Protect the goddess no matter what." Chansa smiled, glancing at Hei Sujin. "Ah yes, of course. So what brings you here?" Hei Sujin pulled out a tablet, showing Chansu the sales data, and spoke proudly. "I have good news. Would you like to hear it?" "Don't be shocked. They all sold out at 200,000 gold each. Sold out for 2 days straight." Chansu's eyes widened in disbelief. 200,000 gold each. And for 2 days in a row? Hei Sujin let out a small sigh, speaking softly but with a hint of exasperation. "Don't even mention it. It's chaos because they can't get enough." Chansa glanced at his system window, noticing that ordinary apples here only cost 990 gold. He raised an eyebrow and muttered to himself, "Apples here aren't even considered expensive. Are there really that many rich people?" He thought for a moment, calculating silently. "Anyway, my cut comes to about 30%. That means 60,000 gold left per apple. If I sell 50 a day, that's 3 million gold daily. Which means an annual income of 1 billion. Chansu closed his eyes and imagined himself swimming in gold, visualizing himself as a billionaire. He lost himself in the daydream for a moment, before snapping back to reality. "If that happens, I could even find clues about my parents," he whispered to himself, a serious glint in his eyes. Then, checking the department store commission, he spoke aloud, still calculating. "The department store commission is quite high, isn't it? Since you've provided a hit product, I'll try to negotiate it lower." Chansu frowned slightly, thinking cautiously. "I hate to throw cold water on this, but..." He looked at Hei Sujin and asked, carefully. How long do you think the bubble around imperial apples will last? He pondered quietly, imagining the limits of the hype. They may be popular now, but there's no way they'll keep selling at 200,000 gold forever. Hei Sujin nodded understandingly, her voice calm and confident. I understand your concern. But even with 1 million potential customers, selling 100 a day would take 27 years. Along the way, loyal customers will form too. Chansa blinked, flustered, scratching the back of his head. Huh? That's what? Isn't that too many expected customers? Hei Sujin smiled gently, reassuring him. By Earth standards, yes. But the current market is the size China once was. You don't need to worry. She reached for Chansu's hand, her grip firm but friendly. So, Mr. O Chansu, would you consider increasing apple production? Chansa hesitated, releasing his hand slowly. For now, other crops have ripened too. Wouldn't you like to taste them first? Hei Sujin gave a playful smile, grabbing his hand again with more determination. They're just as delicious as apples. Chansu's eyes widened slightly, a tinge of panic in his expression. Wait, my blood circulation. It's cutting off. Later, some time had passed. Hei Sujin was sitting at the table, waiting patiently as Chansu prepared the new products. Chansu spoke with a proud smile, presenting the first dish. Thank you for waiting. Then first, we'll start with boiled potatoes. Hei Sujin clapped lightly, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Thank you for the meal. She picked up a piece of potato and took a bite. Her face brightened instantly as she spoke, clearly impressed. Sweet. Add some salt, and it's a heavenly sweet and salty combo. The skin has a nutty aroma, which is fantastic. The fluffy texture is the best. Chansu, serving more pieces, thought to himself with relief. Thank goodness, the reaction is good. He continued, serving the rest while speaking cheerfully. I also prepared pancakes and fries. Hei Sujin's eyes widened even more in expectation as she reached for a piece. She took a bite and spoke in awe, her voice full of emotion. This tastes like something a high-end restaurant could sell. These potato fries could be considered the main dish, not a side. Chansu smiled warmly at her reaction. I'm glad it suits your taste. And for the finale, here's what Doji goes crazy for: roasted sweet potatoes. Hei Sujin took a bite of the roasted sweet potatoes, her eyes lighting up in delight. She chewed carefully, savoring the sweetness and aroma, clearly loving every bite. Hamdal waddled up to Chansu's shoulder, peering curiously at the food. Doji, not to be outdone, squealed excitedly. Oink! Give me two. Give me two. Ari, standing nearby, looked frail and exhausted, as if he had just fought a battle, his tiny frame almost comically thin. Chansu handed them both food, speaking with a mixture of amusement and concern. All right, let's all eat together. Ari, why are you so skinny? Doji, you stole Ari's share, didn't you? Hamdal tiptoed toward Hei Sujin's plate, drawn by the delicious smell. Hei Sujin's eyes sparkled as she saw him reach for it, her fingers itching to grab him. She couldn't resist the cuteness and exclaimed, So cute. So fluffy. Chansa chuckled and asked her thoughtfully, I'm thinking of selling these too. What did you think? Finally, Hei Sujin gently scooped Hamdal into her arms and spoke, her voice polite but sincere. First, thank you very, very much for the delicious meal. But, can you cultivate these while also increasing apple production? Chansu's expression turned serious as he considered the request. That would be difficult without more points coming in. He thought quietly to himself, calculating the limits of his resources. I can't spend all my points just on farming crops. Hei Sujin, sensing his hesitation, spoke softly but firmly. In that case, I appreciate the effort, but could I ask you to focus on apples instead? As you know, all apostles are Korean, and the culture of this world is heavily influenced by that. We were truly surprised to discover such delicious food, but crops themselves won't fetch high prices. Even if there's demand, they won't be as profitable as apples. She bowed respectfully, emphasizing her point. Mr. Chansu, the demand for apples will surely keep growing. Please consider my position, I beg you. Hei Sujin thought to herself, reflecting on Chansu's generosity. With the high department store commissions, and after all the effort he put into harvesting, he even treated us to a meal. Did I push him too hard? What a blunder. Chansu, sensing her concern, spoke calmly. Will 100 do? Hey Sujin blinked in surprise, her voice barely above a whisper. What? Chansu continued, firm and decisive. I'll supply 100 a day. Hey Sujin's eyes widened with excitement and relief. Oh really? Chansu thought to himself, a small smile tugging at his lips. There's no need to cling to the hard road. It was worth trying, though. She did enjoy the food. Hey Sujin returned his smile warmly, her voice sincere. Thank you, Mr. O Chansu. The next day, Chansu strode through the fields with his sickle in hand. Ari and Doji followed closely, their tiny footsteps careful and synchronized with his. Doji muttered under his breath, a hint of worry in his squeaky voice. Oink. But is it right to keep following him every time? Oink oink. It's not like we can actually do anything. Ari scolded him sharply, his voice high-pitched but authoritative. Peep. Don't talk nonsense. Peep. If we don't watch him, then who will? Peep peep. We can't just ask that dim-witted hamster to do it. Chansu glanced behind him, noticing their serious expressions and synchronized movements. He furrowed his brow, thinking to himself, why do they keep following me everywhere? Could they actually be combat types? Right? No way. Familiars would just be useless freeloaders that only eat. Chansu's eyes widened as he noticed Ari and Doji panic, running frantically with an undead right on their heels. The small creature's movements were chaotic, flailing as they tried to escape, but the undead was closing in quickly. Chansu muttered under his breath, frustration clear in his voice. I hate myself for expecting anything. Good thing undying ghosts are so slow. Doji, struggling to sprint away, glanced up in desperation. Oink! Chansu's voice rang out sharply, full of urgency. What are you doing? Move, you idiot. His mind raced, calculating the distance. Damn, too far away. With a burst of speed, Chansu trying to charge toward the undead, shouting at the top of his lungs. Stay away from our Doji. But Doji, frozen in place, barely moved. The undead lunged forward, teeth bared, claws reaching out. Chansu felt the adrenaline spike, thoughts snapping as he tried to reach them in time. From the side, Ari's terrified voice squeaked. Peep. Slash. Chansu's eyes darted just in time to see the undead suddenly fall, its head severed cleanly. He froze for a moment, baffled. What the? It was definitely a short-range skill, but the range just extended? As more undead began approaching, Chansu's mind sharpened. He focused intently, analyzing the sickle's angle, positioning, and even the speed of his swing. Without moving his feet, he slashed again. A notification popped up in his system window. Mass decapitation has been activated. The range of the skill decapitation has expanded. Chansu read it aloud, bemused and slightly incredulous. Mass decapitation? What kind of name is that? He glanced to his right, spotting more undead converging. A small smile formed on his face as he tightened his grip on the sickle, ready to strike again. Anyway, so the range has widened. I can definitely attract more regulars now. Chansu's sickle moved fluidly, cutting through wave after wave of undead with precise, clean motions. Ari and Doji, witnessing the display, shivered uncontrollably, sweat dripping down their tiny bodies as they backed away in terror. Together, they fled toward the goddess. Oink! Goddess of abundance. Doji squealed. Peep dash. Goddess, something terrible has happened. Ari cried out, panic in every note. The goddess turned to them, alarmed. What's the matter? Why are you rushing back so frantically? Ari hurriedly explained, voice shaking. Peep. The apostle has started chopping off 4 to 5 heads at once. Peep peep. Getting stronger is good, but peep peep. Wouldn't it be wiser to prioritize the communication skill? The goddess' expression darkened, her voice steady but firm. Calm yourselves first. And I never bestowed such a skill. Ari's tiny body trembled violently, tears spilling over as he wailed. Peep. I'm so scared I can't even eat properly. Doji squeaked, trembling as he added. Oink oink. They called it mass decapitation. Was that also your doing? The words made the goddess pause. Her eyes widened, imagining Chansu swinging the sickle with such lethal precision. She shivered violently, heart pounding. Mass. What? What in the world? I'm scared, she thought, a shiver running down her spine at the terrifying scene playing out in her mind. And that's a wrap for this chapter. Thank you so much for watching Chapter 8 of The Rebellious Apostle of the Harvest Goddess. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Chapter 9 is already uploaded on the channel, so be sure to check it out next and continue the adventure.